Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to live streaming through Gen Con with Heavy Cardboard, where we teach, play, and discuss some of the hottest titles Gen Con 2019. I'm your host, Edward Euler, joined by my partner.
I'm Jess.
All right, so today we are bringing y'all Watergate, designed by Matthias Kramer and published by Capstone Games and Frosted Games across the pond. So welcome everybody watching live around the world as well as after the fact. Capstone also kindly provided us with this review copy of Watergate to help bring it to y'all today, which I've heard is, I think, #2 on the hotness as of right now at Gen Con, which pretty impressive for a small little 2-player game. So well done, Clay, there. Before we get started, a big thank you to all of our patrons who help make all of this possible. Without y'all, this ain't happening. Special shout out to Ian Duran. Say thanks for being a patron and supporting the show. So thank you, Ian. Also, if you guys are enjoying what it is that we're doing here on Heavy Cardboard, like and subscribe down below. Give it a thumb. Do all of that stuff. It helps you. It helps us. Everyone drives home in a Cadillac. On top of that, as you can see down below, you can go to Pledge HC, join the herd, and support the show that way as well. Or just spread the word about the show. That also helps. So really appreciate all y'all's support. So Watergate. If you've played Twilight Struggle or any of its kind of derivative games based upon that system, right? You have 13 Days, you have High Treason, The Trial of Louis Riel, and this, obviously, Watergate kind of follows in that whole multi-use card tug-of-war, two-player tug-of-war, right? So that said, we're going to get into this, and yeah, I'm going to run the teach. We're going to bring the chat and the cameras down during the teach. Teach isn't too big, and we'll get started. So you ready?
Yes.
You're going down. Down.
No.
Down. Trying to boost my own confidence. So that said, let's go ahead. If y'all are ready, get into Watergate. So there we go. All right, let's bring these down for focus on everything. All right. In June 1972, 5 men are arrested in Washington's Watergate building. What looks like a third-rate burglary attempt on the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee induces journalists Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein of the Washington Post to start a thorough investigation. Over the following 2 years, they discover the 5 men were directed from within the White House itself to spy on political opponents. As a consequence, in 1974, President Richard Nixon resigns from office to avoid impeachment. So, and I'll just read the object of the game here from the rulebook. It says, in Watergate, one player assumes the role of a newspaper editor. That's me. Hi, y'all. While the other embodies the Nixon administration, each with a unique set of cards. So we have Madam President on the other side of the table. To win, the Nixon administration must build up enough momentum to make it to the end of the turn. Whereas the editor must gather enough evidence to connect the two informants directly to the president. So we have informants around there and the president and various pieces of evidence in between. Of course, the administration will do all in its power to smother that evidence. Can the secret source known as Deep Throat tip the scales? A thrilling race against time begins. So what you guys are looking at here on the main board is, obviously, we have a picture of Nixon in the middle, and then we have the various informants around the outside here, and the actual informant tiles are over here on the left-hand side of the board. Then in between are 3 different colors of evidence, which these tiles all represent various colors of evidence, be it yellow, green, or blue. And they all represent different things. So the blue represent Nixon's re-election campaign, the yellow represent the Watergate complex and the ground plans for it, and the green represent transcripts of the Nixon White House tapes themselves. Then over on the right-hand side of the actual board is the research track. Now, there's a 0 space that's kind of covered up there, which is a neutral space. Then we have Nixon's side, and then we have the editor's side over here. Then off board, we have momentum tokens. I guess I should mention we have one momentum token on the board itself, as well as an initiative token, and there are 3 randomly chosen from the bag evidence tokens that only Nixon is privy to as to what colors those represent or what colors those are. Then off the board, we have our momentum cards, one for the editor, one for Nixon themselves, as well as 5 spaces for momentum markers as they get claimed by the various sides. Then we have the initiative card. One side is going to be drawing 5 cards, whereas the other side is going to be drawing 4 cards. Then we have a handy dandy little end of round overview or player aid, which is going to be useful. And then each of us have our own deck of cards. So we have the editor deck of cards and we have Nixon's deck of cards over there. The aforementioned bag of evidence tiles, as you can see here. Then the actual informants here, and the earlier mentioned momentum tokens. Now, the game itself, how do you play? Well, the game itself is played over an indeterminate number of rounds, and each of those rounds is going to follow the same 3 phases. We have an initial phase, which essentially is building up our hand of cards and putting out the evidence tokens. Then a card phase, which is the meat of the game, where we're actually going to be playing our hand of 5 cards, alternating turns. And then an evaluation phase, basically figuring out who got each of the various tokens over here on the right-hand side of the board. The game ends essentially one of 2 ways. There is a third way that it can end. If you're Nixon, you want the game to end by claiming the 5th momentum token. The game ends immediately when Nixon claims their 5th token. For the editors, we win if we have 2 of these informants out here around the board, so Baldwin over here there, and we have a chain of these evidence tokens, which I'm actually going to go ahead and turn face up here. If we have a chain of evidence tokens that goes back to Nixon between 2 of the different informants. The game also can end is during the evaluation phase, if when we're trying to put out a momentum token, there are none left to put out, Nixon immediately wins as if he had made it, or in our case, she had made it to the end of their term. Okay, so that's how the game ends. Now let's go over how you actually play. So the initial phase is very simple. Both players are going to draw cards, either 5 cards or 4 cards, and the initiative will probably change hands as the game goes along, so you're going to draw whatever is on your side. So you're going to draw those cards into your hand. Then Nixon is going to secretly, randomly draw 3 of these tiles out of the bag, look at them, and turn them face down. Okay? So we're going to turn these face down like so that we act like we don't know what these are for our examples. That is the initial phase. Then the card phase. So if you're familiar with any kind of multi-use card or Twilight Struggle-esque game, this game is going to be familiar to you. Command point type thing, action up here, or an event down here. So each card is divided into essentially 3 different parts. You have the value part, which is going to be this part in the top left-hand corner, or the event part, which is going to be this down here. And then the third space or bit of the card is going to be a little bit of flavor text down here in italics, which again, pretty standard across all games. Now, when you play a card, whoever has the initiative is going to play their card first. When they play their card, they're going to play it for one of 2 reasons. Either to do the value part of the card or the event. We'll start with talking about the event. The event, you must do everything that it says if you can. If you can't, that's okay, but you cannot choose to not do some part of the event. You either do it all or you do none of it. So there are a few different types of cards. Now on the bottom, we have the editor cards, and on the top, we have Nixon's cards, just a few examples of each. Now the events are events. As you can see, the events are pretty much the same. What they do is different, but the actual mechanisms for the events are the same. And then in the editor deck, there are journalist cards, and in the president's deck are conspirator cards. Also work kind of similar to one another mechanically. So an event, there are a couple of different options. There is your standard event here, which it says, you know, do something that has to do with the main tracks out here, or putting out tiles, or doing various things that getting these informants out here on the board, etc., etc. So that's kind of what your standard event is going to be. Then there are recruit events, or ones that have requirements on them. So this says the picture of Woods must be in the potential informant supply, the informant supply being over here, and wouldn't you know that Woods is actually right there, so she's there, so I would meet that requirement. Then do whatever it says down below. And then finally, there are reaction events, which, think of them if you've played any kind of CCG or whatever, they're interrupts or they're counters or whatever. Oh, somebody's going to do something. Oh, nope, play this when it's not your turn to counter what it is they're going to do. And all the information is listed right on there. Now, you'll notice that some of these cards also have this down at the bottom, which says remove the card from the game. Literally, tear it up and throw it away. No, I'm kidding. Just put it back into the box or move it off to the side. It's out of the game. It does not go into your discard pile. Whereas this one over here, you'll notice, does not have that, so that would go into your discard pile. Easy enough, right? Same with up here. Now, one of Jess's cards here, or Nixon's cards as it were, says remove this card from the game, or remove a conspirator from your hand from the game. So you would do this in lieu of getting rid of that card, so that this card would go into your discard pile. So any questions about the events?
Nope.
All right. So moving on now to the value part of the card, which is this top left corner of the card. Now, as you can see, there are various colors of evidence that are out there, as well as markers on them. And some of them may have a universal wild symbol, which means any color of evidence of your choice. Now, when you choose to do either the value or the event, when you play the card, you announce what you're doing. So if you're going to do it for the event, things are a little bit different. Whereas the event, say, hey, I'm going to do the event, and you carry it out. Whereas, let's say I were to play this Rosemary Woods card here, and we'll go ahead and move this one out here so you guys can follow along. So if I played this card out here, and I said, I want to move a green evidence 3 spaces towards me on the track, I would ask Nixon, so Madam President, are any of these 3 of the 3 tiles, are they green? So she would then look at them and then decide, and I'll be honest, I can't remember if they are. So these are secret, and she actually has a choice to reveal one of those 2. It's her choice. So she says, yep, there is one, and move it 3 spaces towards me on my side. Easy enough. Okay? Or, in lieu of doing that, I could choose to move one of the 2 markers 3 spaces on my side. So that would be as simple as that, or that. You cannot mix and match. However, I can't do like 2 and 1, or say green 1 and that 2. It's all or one on one thing. And the reason it specifically has to be green, because that's what it's, if I'm going for evidence, it would be green. So if I do so, when one of these tiles gets moved, whether it's to my side or to Nixon's side, it must get revealed first. Only when it's here and hasn't been touched is it secret to half of us. Nixon obviously knows. So once that happens, if Jess were to then play a card into her tableau and she says, hey, I'm going to move one here instead of playing it for the event, she could tug of war this back 2 spaces as it shows there. She could move one of these 2, or she could choose to move one of those. But if she does choose to move one of those, before you move it, you have to reveal it. So she says, I'm going to move this piece of evidence over to my side like that. Is that clear? Does that make sense?
Yes.
That is for the value part of the card. So now we are most of the way home on how to play Watergate. So after we have done so, if at any point anything makes it to the 5 spot on either side, that side claims whatever that is, be it a piece of evidence, a momentum token, or the initiative token. So if it's the momentum token and that gets pushed all the way to there, immediately claims it and puts it on the lowest number on your card. Okay, which now Nixon is 20% of the way to winning the game. If it goes onto mine, awesome, it goes there, etc., etc. Now, when it goes onto this space, if you were the editor side, there may be some sort of special little bonus that you get. You read it aloud and you immediately do what it says. If it's the initiative marker that makes it all the way to the end, you immediately move that off to the side, and then at the end of the round, you're going to actually claim the, you immediately claim the initiative when you do so. Okay? Any questions on those two tokens?
Nope.
When a piece of evidence, however, makes it to the end of either of our two tracks, when it makes it to my side, I then get to place it out here onto the board. And again, remember the goal of the game, if you're the editor, is to trace a path between Nixon and some of the informants out here with face-up evidence. So this being a blue or green, meaning I can place on any of the green or any of the blue spaces. So for whatever reason, maybe I choose to place it right there, easy enough. If Jess makes it onto her side, she gets to do the exact similar or the exact same with one change. This being a yellow one can only go over here on the yellow, but hers goes face down, which blocks that space. Now I have cards in my deck which will either flip these or remove them, and same with hers, etc. So again, it's a constant tug of war, and just because these are out here doesn't mean they stay out there. So that is the second phase, which is the meat of the game. Now, then we go into the evaluation phase, which is very simple. Return any neutral evidence tokens to the bag. So this wasn't moved, so it would immediately go back into the bag. Even if it were tug of war between us, if it ended up here, it still goes back into the bag, whether it's face up or face down. Then whoever has the initiative token claims the initiative. So if this were, say, over on that side, then Nixon would become the first player and draw more cards there. Easy enough, right?
Yes.
And then this will reset there. If it's at the 0 space, it flips to whoever didn't have the initiative at the beginning, during that last turn, okay? The momentum token, on the other hand, will either go back if nobody claimed it, or if it's on one of our tracks, it will then go as aforementioned earlier. Then, after all of that, we're going to replace the initiative token here. We're going to put another momentum token out here on the board, and then any evidence markers that are out here on our sides then get placed out on the board just as if they had made the 5 spot, but this goes with whoever has initiative at that moment. Face up or face down, depending on whether you're Nixon or whether you're the editors. Keep doing this, rinse and repeat until Nixon has 5 momentum tokens, 2 paths are completed, or when you go to put a momentum token, there aren't any, and whichever is the case, that respective player will win the game. And that, folks, is how you play Watergate. Any questions?
Nope.
Anything in the peanut gallery? I don't see anything, no. So we're going to go ahead and gather up our cards. And if you will, you want me to shuffle your deck?
No.
Okay, you got it. All right.
I learned how to shuffle.
That's true. So we have those need to go back in. Place your bets now. Over under on Glory to Rome's, we're going to set it 2.5 because I have a feeling that Jess crushes me and she doesn't have to cuss me much. So there's that.
We shall see. There were some comments that Nixon's easier to understand, so that while the game, they were saying, is really balanced, getting started with Nixon is easier.
Is easier. Okay, that makes because you're trying to get momentum tokens.
Yeah,
right?
it's really easy to get that. Whereas your two.
Right. There's a lot more steps involved there. The only thing that I need to check is, I start with the initiative. There, Jess, if you will put these back into or I'll put them back into the bag. And then if you will draw, we will get started. I will bring the cameras up in the chat. And here we go. Shuffled up. I feel confident that those are well shuffled.
How?
All right.
You want them, huh?
Well, I don't know about all that, but... Hey, there we go. Hey, y'all. What's up? Okay. And you guys, before you get started, hold on, before you put those down, chat, you have a choice. Whose side do you want to play as? Do you want to play as Nixon's side and have the secret information, or do you want to play as the editor's side? 1 for Nixon, 2 for editors. Go ahead. We'll give you guys 30 seconds to answer. The first 3 responses will dictate it. All right? And whether or not you show the camera or not.
I see.
Okay? Not going to see the cards, but you're going to at least see or not the evidence markers. Rolling some oolong tea today. Thanks, Chad. All right, so Nixon was 1, I said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nixon was 1. Oh, 1 to 1.
It's tied, and it's you.
Okay, it's me. There we go.
And then really you. Okay. So they will not know.
Okay, so they will not know. Whereas later on this afternoon or this evening, like the bees, they will only know Summer.
Ah, well
See
done.
what I did?
See
Tying
what
it
you did
together.
there. It's really good.
So good luck. Die. Okay, all right.
They didn't want him dead.
Well, no.
That's
Right.
assassination.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. 4 for Jess, Madam President.
I like the size of these
Wow,
two.
look at that. Only 2 people in general.
They didn't want to
3,
see
I
what
guess.
I was
So,
doing over here. That's fine. I like keeping secrets.
Yeah. All right. And we actually played this earlier today. Once you have played your placed your bets, I will let you know how that went. Although let's face it, y'all probably already know how that went. Yeah. All right. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and get started here. Oh, you place your evidence. Right. Technically, you're supposed to do that after, but neither here nor there. So, all right. And I'll play my cards right here. And Jess, play it to the same side if you would as well. So here we go. I'm going to play... it's too good of a card to not... So I'm going to play this as the event, the smoking gun tape. On the research track, move the initiative token 2 steps. And whenever it says that, it's obviously towards you. The momentum, 2 steps. And 1 face down evidence token, 1 step. There we go. Now this one here, when this goes out onto the board, the momentum token gets moved 1 towards your side. If it's at the end of a round, that means for the next round, it actually starts with kind of a head start on that. Now, because I played it as the event and it has this remove the card from the game part, I'm going to go ahead and tuck it over here and not put it over here as my discard so it's out of the game. It is Your Honor, Madam President. Just can't root for Nixon. Just can't.
I know, there was, yeah.
Hey, Christopher. Hope
All
you're
right.
doing well, brother.
I'm going to play a conspirator.
Uh-huh.
Chuck Colson is going to have you discard 1 random card from your hand to the discard pile. Then it's my turn again.
Choose. Okay. What did we discard? We discarded The System Works, which kind of sucks. There's a reason I played the card I did. It says choose 1 of your cards already removed from the game and perform its event once more.
I was wondering why you played that so early.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, here's the thing.
It's in the discard,
It's
though.
in the discard. And remember, it only goes out of the game if you play it for the event. If you play it for this part up here, it does not go out of the game. So that's going to just go right
It'll come
here.
back. It's
Yeah.
not that bad.
All right, and then do you
It is
still
my
your
turn again.
Okay. All right. Morning, Chisholm.
Oh.
Yep, exactly what content consumer says. If it moves from this spot, either direction, evidence gets flipped.
Another conspirator. On the research track, move the initiative token and the momentum token 2 steps each.
Womp womp.
And remove 1 face down evidence token from the research track and return it to the bag.
And she can always freely look. It's not a memory game. So she's allowed to look and what's going back in there. So that goes into the discard. And now my plans are all messed up.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah, I probably should have done that. Yeah, I think I'm... No, I'm going to go ahead and play Rosemary Woods as the event. So is Rosemary Woods available? She is, so I'm going to take this. It says pin her picture face up, so Rosemary Woods will actually go onto the board. So I have step 1 of, call it a 3-step process. I need a second one out here, and then I need the paths, right? So put her face up on the evidence board on the research track. Move the initiative token or the momentum token 1 step. And because I played it for the event, out of the game. Done. Tony, seems appropriate. I just had to break into my own house.
He's okay. The key just got locked out.
Okay,
That's it.
all right.
He's just, they were making references and jokes. All right. Okay. Event, presidential election 1972. On the research track, move any number of evidence tokens, a combined total of 4 steps.
I hate this card. And
Well, it's going to go out of the game.
Richmond, if it moves from here, regardless, if it moves from this space, the evidence, it gets flipped up. It will never be black and be somewhere out here on the board. It will never be. Okay?
Once it's off of here, it's revealed. It's in the wild.
So 1.
So that's 1.
You should stop there and just forego the
2,
rest.
3, 4.
Okay. Or not. And
That is out.
Okay. All right, I should have played this earlier as a reaction to what Jess did, but I chose not to. So I'm going to just play it for the, the right word, the value part. So we're going to move the green 1 my way. Done. Jess, you're up. Hey, Matthias. Hope you're doing well.
I'm going to play this for a 2 movement.
Okay, and discard it. Oh, that's cool. So Matthias says, thanks to Heavy Cardboard to let me find the writers of the history part of, in the community. So in Slack,
Yes.
he actually found the people that helped
That's the thing with pledging HC. I always try to get you to say, join the community.
Right.
Because that's the huge thing you're getting by becoming a patron, is being able to get in Slack. And the resource that is tremendous. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to play it for the event, the Saturday Night Massacre.
Oh,
it says
no.
on, but no, I'm not. I'm just, never mind, I'm not. Because what it is on the research track, move the initiative token and the evidence tokens back to the 0 space.
Okay.
And then move the evidence token 1 space of my choice.
Right, so you'd get that evidence.
I would, but...
And you have a green person out there.
But it keeps you from getting the... All right, hell, you talked me into it. I will. So everything gets...
That's initiative. No. That's motivation. It said initiative.
The research track, initiative, and evidence tokens.
That
In that case, I'm not just going to move that as the 1.
Didn't have to do that.
Done. All right, so that will actually stay there. So then we go for the end of the round. Return to the bag any that are at 0. So that goes back to the bag. Then this... Whoever claims it's on their side claims it. Well, it's not on anybody's side, so it reverses sides.
I like this.
This will actually go away, but it's about to come back. And then we do the evidence. So go ahead and pin the evidence to the board, but because of
I do have a question. When that goes away, it doesn't go out of the game.
No, it just goes away.
Because otherwise you can't run out of those. And you were saying that I immediately win if you run out. There's only...
Let me double check. If it's at 0, it is not gained by either player, but returned to the supply instead.
Just making sure.
Go for it.
Okay, so now I'm going to place this, which moves this.
Unfortunately, preemptively for the next round.
For the next round.
Right. All right.
So you don't have anything out, so I'm just going to block
I do have.
here. Well, over here.
Understood. Right. All right. So there we go. So now we begin anew. So we go back to the beginning. So now I'm drawing 4. Jess is drawing 5.
And I had to place that on a yellow. That's why I was inventing my conundrum.
Hey, Yoon, joining from above the polar circle, vacationing in the mountains of Sweden. Nice.
We've been there.
Awesome.
So nice. All right.
Yes. Okay, good. Woohoo! Oh, yeah. Really nice 4 cards.
I've only read one, and you're like all up there. Okay. Oh. Oh, I have to place the 3, I mean.
Yep. And it's your honor since you have the initiative.
Yeah. Oof. Okay.
And this is currently available. This is out official. It was, I believe, it was up for demo, I think, at Origins, but it's released now at Gen Con. And yeah, from what I've heard, this is doing really, really well. But I hope that this game helps people also get interested in games like 13 Days and the aforementioned High Treason, the Trial of Louis Riel, which was fascinating to me. That was a fantastic game. So if you enjoy this, definitely pick it up and check out the others that are similar.
Okay.
And Christopher says yes. It goes back to the supply. The only way you would run out is if I get 5 and you're at 4. That's the only way.
I'm going to play an event. It's the Gambit. I get to move the momentum token to the 5 space on my side of the research track, which means it automatically goes here.
And I elect to not stop it.
And then I have the option to actually remove 1 conspirator in my hand from the game instead of removing that card from the game.
Yep.
So I am going to sacrifice Bob Haldeman.
I guess he did his job. No good conspirator.
So he's going to go out instead because this is going to come back later.
Well, all right. That's one less thing I got to worry about managing this round, at least. So
that is the thing.
You've heard of James Dean, right? I'm going to get his uncle. No, not really. But so here we go. We're going to play this for the event.
It really could have been. What if it was?
It might be. I don't.
You just made an insane reference, and people are like, yeah.
John Dean. So he is available out here. Pin his picture face up, and we will do so. So old Mr. Dean goes up yonder. And then on the research track, move the initiative token or the momentum 1 step. Well, I only have 1 choice. That'll go there, and that's out of the game. Done.
Darn it.
Chad, you need to play High Treason. Thank you, Tony. Yes, like and subscribe down below, y'all.
All right.
You and your conspirators. Nasty people.
Do I want to move that? I don't think I do.
Gordo.
I think, okay. Yeah.
So you're doing it for the
I am.
value. I can't remember the word.
You're good.
I keep wanting to call it for the command value.
1, 2.
So I guess value part, I guess that's probably where it came from. All right, so moving it 2, got it.
Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm removing it. I was thinking I was doing that, but he removed 1 face up.
So read.
Oh, it's
read
not
the card.
face up.
Read the card.
I
Okay.
should do these things. Remove one face-up evidence token from the research track. You were talking, I was listening, and return it to the bag. But it's not face-up.
Correct,
so I can't
so you can't
that.
do it.
All right, so...
So I guess you're going to turn that face
That's all
up and move it there.
I want to
All
block
right.
you anyway, so
Right.
that's fine. No. It's Howard Dean's dad. That's awesome. I don't care.
I'm going to play it for the value. So are either of those yellow, please? All right, so we're going to move that bad boy 4. And yes, you have to make that sound. So McCord, I chose not to play out here on the board yet. All right? Yeah, I totally forgot that Matthias asked me about that to be able to plumb the herd's knowledge for the history of this. So cool. I'm really, really glad that worked out. Again, one of the benefits of being a herd member and being a patron.
But I like that the way it is.
So how many of y'all have played Watergate so far? How many fights are going to happen over this game?
All right, so I'm playing that for the movement.
Okay. All right. You have one card left, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go ahead and play Bob Woodward, who's one of the main people on the journalist side here, and we're gonna play it for the event. So draw one evidence token from the bag and place it face up onto the 2 space on your side of the research track, and then on the research track move either the initiative token or the momentum token 2 steps. Well, we only have one choice, so we'll go there and move that 2 steps. There, done. J-Rex, you're up.
And there's a question in chat about what would happen if none of those were yellow. When you're asking
Oh, okay,
me,
yeah, good call. If I had asked earlier when I played this card, is one of those yellow? If the answer, she has to tell the truth, which I mean it's Nixon, but I digress. Has to tell the truth. If none of them are, then you are freely allowed to change what you choose to move. So there's no punishment for doing so. However, if she says yes, then it's moving whatever the value is. Okay?
I'm going to use this for movement. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, Bob, hang out over there. Not my uncle. So I originally planned on doing this Baldwin to be able to play him out here, but being able to move that evidence over is awfully tempting.
It is.
And I feel like that's a bit of a win if I can do that, because I already have the initiative on my side. So I'm gonna play it as the yellow. So 1, 2, 3 there, and that's it. So then we go to resolving. This goes back into the bag. Everything all right?
Yeah.
Then, well, momentum's already there. Initiative comes back to my side of things. And now we're going to place evidence out here on the evidence board. Whoever has initiative goes first. So that would be yours truly.
It's you.
So we will go ahead and I'm going to place this there. And then there. And now you go.
Which,
And then this will come out there.
and where do I want to block? It's unfortunate. So I can go. You've already got that there, so I'll go there.
Okay. All right. So we begin a new round. So I'm drawing 5. Jess is drawing 4. And obviously your deck runs out. Shuffle your discards. Not the games that were or the cards that were removed from the game, though. Okay. All right, go ahead and draw your evidence. That's really good tea today.
That's good.
I was not around for Watergate. I was born in '75. So that's just before my time. But even if I were born, I would have been too young to realize it. Wow. I have a really strong hand, but I don't know what to do with it. I really want that. All right, playing the Pentagon paper is going to use it for the value. Do you have any green evidence over there? And that'll move 3. Chip says I was pissed that my afternoon cartoons were replaced by angry men in suits.
Right. Gonna use that for movement.
Okay, so hold on.
What?
So real quick, so you're moving that, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Never mind. Just this round, I would ask that you, go ahead. You just, anytime you're going to move something, tell me you're going to use the command value. Okay?
I mean, it's easy enough to move it back. It's
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're
the numbers right here.
Fair enough.
I
fair
think
enough.
actually in the gameplay you'd move and then you'd be like, ha, move
right.
it back. It seems more fun that way.
Okay,
actually,
go with it. All right,
to
go
move
with it. Okay.
than to be like,
And then psych.
yes,
Okay,
exactly.
fair enough,
I
fair enough.
like the drama of actually moving it.
I think the game will go long enough. Yeah, now that you did that, actually, I'm going to just play this. The who's paying the lawyers as the value. So any yellow evidence?
No.
Okay, so I guess that means we're going to do that. Okay. Roger that.
Right, yes. Second guess myself. I'm like, no, there's...
No, there's no...
I don't think.
Okay.
I don't. But that... No.
The post was very good. Yes, it was.
Okay, I'm going to use that for movement.
Go ahead. Do what you need to do. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Follow the Money as a reaction to that, so I let you do it as you asked, if the Nixon administration uses the value part of a card to move an evidence token, that token moves in your direction instead. And then it's the turn of the Nixon administration again. So,
Oh, that's awful.
excuse me, we're going to go ahead and put that there, and then we'll remove this from the game. Show me the money!
I don't like you.
Snap.
I don't want to use this now, but I shall. Event. On the research track, move one evidence token back to the 0 space.
Ugh.
And the momentum token to the 1 space on your side. There's no momentum.
There's no momentum, but...
So it's a little bit wasted. But that's going back here, and that gets removed from the game.
All right, and you have 1 card left?
Yes, I do.
All right, we're going to go ahead and play Ben Bradley to go ahead and move that up to... Done.
And you have a question.
Okay, so when Edward guessed wrong, he had to move a marker. He can't guess again. I believe so. It's pretty clear on this that... As the edit here, I'll read it verbatim here. It says, if there's a face-down token, if you want to move a face-down evidence token as Nixon, if you just move it. If there's a face-down token with the color Nixon, if there, I'm missing obviously, so hold on one second. Okay, as the editor, if you want to move a face-down evidence token, ask Nixon if there is any with the color on your card. If there is a face-down token with that color, Nixon must flip it face up and move the appropriate number of spaces towards your side. If there are more than one such token, Nixon chooses which. If there is none, then Nixon tells you, and you must move either the initiative token, the momentum token, or an already face-up evidence token of that color. Obviously, if it's a multicolor, you could change it then. Okay, go ahead.
Event, Operation Gemstone. On the research track, move the momentum token, which is not there, and 2 evidence tokens 2 steps.
Oh, will you stop with this?
2.
You suck so bad.
Oh, that was an event. That's out.
Ugh. Well, doesn't make sense to do it as the event. Honestly, it's kind of a wasted card because moving this 2, I could place it right away. So I guess there's that. But I don't want to play it as the event. I'll do it as this instead, which claims it, and I'll immediately be able to place it, and I'll place it right there.
Oof.
All right, so doing that, this goes here. So this will go back into the bag. The initiative stays with yours truly. She's already claimed the momentum marker. We'll put another momentum marker out there, and Jess gets to put the blue out.
It's only blue, though. Doesn't super... Yeah, I'm just going to do that.
Okay, all right, we go again. So I'm drawing 5, she's drawing 4.
Oh, replace this one, right? Yeah.
And then place 3 evidence tokens, don't forget.
Yeah. Okay.
I might not win, but I'm doing better than I did earlier.
You are. You're doing very well. Okay.
I say this even though she's gotten the first 2 momentum markers before
It's
I
only
even really got a
2.
chance to do anything with it.
Okay.
And I will not touch your evidence markers, ma'am, until they are face up. All right, we begin. We'll go ahead and play Hugh Sloan. So Hugh Sloan's available, so Mr. Sloan will join the board. And when he does so, move the initiative or the momentum token one step. We'll go ahead and bring that over here. And that's out of the game because it's the event. Done. I actually enjoy both in that case, Andre. He asks, do you guys prefer when each side has their own deck or playing from the same deck like Twilight Struggle? I love how painful having a hand of all the other side's events and figuring it out.
No.
There's merit to both. I appreciate both. I like them both, honestly. And eventually we will get around to streaming the collector's edition of Twilight Struggle. But I'll be honest, that's a game that kind of intimidates me because there are so many high-level plays that we would look like idiots that I got to get my confidence up high enough to be able to be willing to withstand that.
I'm going to play that for movement. 1, 2, 3.
Here we go again.
I mean, that's the point.
Right. All right, we're going to play Deep Throat, but not for the event. So, yellow evidence, ma'am? And that will go 2, please. Thank you. And done.
Movement.
I'm noticing a theme here. Yeah, I'm going to play the Watergate complex for the event. On the research track, move the initiative token 3 steps, a face-up evidence token 2 steps, and a face-down evidence token 1 step. That one, please.
No.
What's...
Reaction. Block one of the editor's events. The block card goes to the editor's discard pile. Then it is the editor's turn again.
Boo.
So move all that back.
All right, so hold on. That goes back there. That moves back 2. Boo. Goes to the discard pile, it said, right?
And it's your turn again.
And you have 1 card left?
Yeah.
Aww. I really want...
See, it's more fun when you do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you're like, yay! Oh.
Yeah. So I'm going to play Martha Mitchell, but not as the event, and just claim that. So this will actually go right there.
Oof.
And so that will go here.
All right, event.
Uh-oh.
Oh, do I want to do event or move the initiative?
Okay, that doesn't sound like such a bad
No, it's
event.
not. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to do the event. Draw 1 evidence token from the bag and place it face up on the 3 space on your side of the research
Okay,
track.
all right. What's it going to be? A yellow to block.
That's great.
All right. So, and the event, so it's out of the game?
Yes,
All
it
right,
is.
so Carl Bernstein. Hey, another familiar name. So I can move one of the evidence tokens or the initiative or the event. Take a face down or a face up evidence token from the evidence board and place it face up onto the 0 space. So basically, I could remove
that.
one of these if I want. I don't want that.
They're not in your way.
So I got a 50-50 shot. I'm hoping one of them, well, actually I have a 2/3 shot. Hoping one is green or one is yellow. So I'm going to choose that one, please. Move it to my way. Really?
That's why I wasn't worried about the evidence this time.
Yeah. All right. So done. Okay. So, that stinks. That was really.
That is a
gonna be
little
my
bit of a
coup de
thing, though.
grace.
If someone doesn't care about the evidence, I mean Nixon doesn't care
Right.
about it, it's probably not something.
So there you go. So
Yeah.
that goes back. The initiative will switch sides. We'll put another here, and now Jess gets to place that first.
Yeah, it's not huge.
50-50, right?
Because you can go either way, and they're both yellow. So I'll go here. But
Yeah, let's just because it's for the camera, for everybody up there watching, for the pins, keep it. There you go. So the blue for me. All right. So we each, or I have one card, so I have to shuffle now. Yeah, strategy guide for Twilight
Yeah.
Struggle, 425 pages, right? All right, cut. If you would like. Help. Cut away from me. Thank you. All right. So I'm drawing 4.
you're just gonna have to trust me. I don't
Okay.
shuffle well enough to be able
Fair
to do
enough.
anything.
Not a concern. So there's that. All right. Okay, 3 evidence, and then it's your honor for going
Yes,
first.
yes.
All right.
No. Okay.
Yeah, Jeff, I agree. He says the initiative token reminds me of the China card in Twilight Struggle. Yeah, whereas Penguin Lover says, I've never seen a game with the initiative token moving so little. Most of our plays have seen the initiative fought over quite a bit. It was in our earlier game.
No, I don't care about the initiative, but I don't care about turn order. I don't, one extra card, nope, doesn't bother me. I got other stuff to worry about.
She understands what wins her the game, so she focuses on that, and it's going to be tense. It's going to be close. We'll see.
Oh, goodness.
It does look awfully good, doesn't it? When you look at the screen like that.
Uh-huh.
It really does.
Okay.
All right, go for it.
Conspirator. On the Howard Hunt. On the research track, move the momentum token 2 steps. Then draw 1 card from your draw deck and play it immediately, choosing its value or action as usual. So I could move it another 2, or this is, so I can't play it as my first turn of the round, is the event.
This is your first turn.
So I wouldn't be able to do the event. Well,
Correct.
that's annoying. But I can do...
I'm glad she got rid of this card this way, because what it says is I can't play any cards as events. I only can do for their value. So I'm really glad that she didn't get that card as a normal draw.
And I'm going to move this too.
All right, I'm going to play the Rosemary Stretch as the event. Take 1 face-up green evidence token from the research track and pin it to the evidence board.
Oh, are you serious?
So we're going to actually go ahead and pin it right there. And we've made our first
horrible.
connection right there, removed from the game. So there. Now, one thing I want to check is, does it happen immediately or at the end of the round? Immediately. If I place a green in either of those 2 spots, the game ends immediately.
Okay. Event, cancer on the presidency. On the research track, move one evidence token 3 steps. Then the round ends immediately. Discard any remaining cards in your hand to your discard pile. Remove this from the game.
Gloria Rome, but that's so good. I appreciate that.
No.
Okay, good. All right. So those all get discarded.
Uh-huh.
And here we go. That goes back to the bag. So now we go into the resolution, right?
Initiative switches.
Evaluation. That switches. You claim that.
Yes, and this is going to block there.
One of them. So that goes there. And here we go. Final.
You need to place one. I need to place one.
So I'm drawing 5. She's drawing 4.
Just wanted to call that out, did you?
All right. Place 3 evidence.
Right. Tense.
Yeah, oh, very. Bob Woodward coming to the rescue here. Draw 1 evidence token from the bag and place it face up onto the 2 space on your side of the research track. Be
Don't
green.
be green. Don't be green. Don't be green. Don't be green.
Ah,
Ooh,
all
thank
right.
God.
And on the research track, move either the initiative or the momentum to the 2. Done.
Event. Gambit. Move the momentum token to the 5 space on your side of the board. It immediately goes here. End of term. I won the game. Unless you can stop it.
Cause so here. Hold on. I have Ben Bradley, which blocks one of your conspirators.
No conspirators.
Right. I have a mass demonstration, which blocks one of your conspirators.
No conspirators.
Glory to Rome! I had this.
No, you didn't. And this is the one I used earlier, but
I
purposely
know.
got rid of a
got rid of a conspirator in lieu of
because
it.
it's better, yes.
It's better.
Gambit. Oh, that was fun.
No! That was good. There you go.
Really good. I like how close it was, too.
That was tense. Seriously, literally.
And I'm trying to play it off that there's no green. I really was like, really? Like, I know. It could have been. But
I was right there.
you
But
were
you know
right
what? You know what right there is? Isn't
Nothing.
winning. All right.
Day late.
And 1 evidence short.
Yes.
So there you go. So what do you think of the game?
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. It can be really tense. And making sure you use, you're like, oh, I want to, I mean, again, multi-use cards, you're always should be stressed about how you're using them. Oh, but this is 4. I could move it. Oh, but then this event. Oh, but then I lose it. Like there's a lot going on. And then the history is really interesting as well. As you said, we didn't live through this.
Right.
So, or then. So, yeah, I thought it was really great.
Yeah, I like the graphic design on this. And like I said earlier, I like the look of everything on the board. I think it's aesthetically pleasing, but also it gives that tense seesaw, tug-of-war battle between 2 players. Now, some games definitely can get a little one-sided. Our earlier game was, for sure. But, man, when they're tense like this, when they're close, and the majority of them are, man, this is good. This is why I play games, is stuff like this. So
Yeah.
that was really good. And it was good. Like, okay, it's your decisions. Now, obviously, there's some luck of the draw with the drawing of the cards and what cards come up and this and that.
Well, but you have your deck, you're running through it. So
Right,
again,
and-
that's use of
And
your...
you're removing cards, right? Because of the removals, so you're
No,
turning
that's a
through
good
your
point.
deck quicker.
So I'm looking at these that I removed. I was purposely looking at their values up in the top, and so these were coming out. That means later in the game, when maybe I need to move that momentum token a high value.
You basically have
gotten rid of my
your
ones,
weak
2, and
cards.
2s.
Yep.
So I know that I can get that momentum token in that last hand, hopefully, with some big values, which did end up coming out. So, yeah.
No, that was awesome. And honestly, after you got the first one, and I think around the time you got the second momentum marker, I was thinking, okay, I think she's going to try and race those.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I need to just let her do that for the next round or two and try and load up everything else that I can to load up the board to get guys out my...
Now, I didn't show it, but some of these events, so like when I was using these for movement, but securing the support of Martha Mitchell, if I'm doing that, I'm pinning her face down.
Right.
Or her little source there is face down, so you can't get her. And that's...
I have a card that then what happens is instead of it flipping, it just actually comes back to where then I can actually use her card to put it up.
This would be out of the game at this point, so that's true. So you could bring her back out, so you still have to take that action.
More actions to
So
be
I didn't use them for that. I did last time, and that was a little more interesting because it kept you on a path where I could kind of block you.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually put him out here, not because I was going to go after it. It was strictly as a red herring.
You can see I totally fell for that.
I tried, at least, to try and give you another avenue that you had to try and block off.
Right. And the thing is, though, my evidence aren't always going to be the color I want. Like, I kept getting blues, and I was like, no, I need these. These are not. So there's that as well, is, you know, you might win, and you're letting them go because you're like, what? But there is that reading of other people, too, as you're playing, because I kind of revealed to you afterwards that I didn't do anything with some evidence on like 2 rounds ago because they were in no way consequential. So I was like, well, I'm not moving those. Like,
don't need to worry about it. If I get them, fine.
But you could have read that as like, she doesn't even paying attention like over there.
I did, but I was like, well, I got nothing better to do, honestly.
It still could be,
like, well, okay.
But it reveals some, it reveals some info to you.
Totally.
Yeah.
So there you go. That is Watergate. So, yeah. There we go. Giovanni. Okay, this looks fun enough to own. Boy to Rome as usual, heavy cardboard. All right. Noted. And that put us over the 2.5. So apparently I nailed that pretty well.
Yes, you did.
All right.
Over.
So welcome, that was fun. I had fun.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
I did. This is a great way to spend Gen Con. We get to demo all the games for people so they can see what's there. And we're in a nice, quiet studio.
There's that. But I do have a lot of prep to do before every game, so there's that. So if you guys will excuse me, we're going to head off so I can go prep B Lives for tonight. So that said, if you guys like this, like and subscribe. Go like right now. Just hit the button.
And subscribe. The bell. Subscribe.
Yeah. If you subscribe and you hit the bell, you get notified whenever we go live.
It also shares it with your friends, family, comrades who might be interested in this type of thing. Yeah, well, I mean, it was historical.
I guess
it's Twilight Struggle reference.
Sure, yeah. Okay. That works. Okay, that works. So there you go. All right, so like, subscribe, support the herd. Go to pledgehc.com and
join the community.
Maybe publishers will come asking for help and get credited in the rule book for the game. So awesome. And again, thanks to Matthias over at Frosted Games, Clay over at Capstone for sending us the copy and just being all around great people. So really appreciate it. We will be back in just under 4 hours with B Lives. So hopefully y'all join us then. That is going to be a in-your-face, fun, worker placement-esque tableau builder.
With bees.
With bees. It's the evolution of bees. So that's kind of cool. All right, so I'm Edward.
I'm Jess.
All right, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you in a few hours. All right, take care, everybody.
Bye.
Still can't believe
that was the best card.
Penguin Lover was like, oh, I love it when the Gambit wins the game for Nixon. I don't.
I did.